All right, guys, in this video today, we're going to be going over how you, yes, you right now watching this video, can scale yourself up to making 10,000 and possibly even more dollars per month on prop firms trading futures. Now, this is very, very possible. There are people out there doing it right now, and I'm a firm believer that if there's other people out there doing it, then you are capable of doing it. It's going to take time, effort, investment, money, dedication, hard work, all that stuff, but you can do it. We're going to be going over a couple of different tips today, some strategies, and an actual strategy you can use and start implementing in your own day trading right away. So 5 key things we're going to be running through, and one is you have to pick a strategy. So there is definitely a lot of different ways. You can see, you go on YouTube, you go on Twitter, even like you watch the news or you hear of other big famous traders, whatever. There is multiple ways to do this thing for sure. Everybody has a different strategy. Now, are there going to be people out there that are, going to be not great people to follow, people that have, bad strategies, stuff that doesn't work? They're going to be people, trying to sell you a dream, people, trying to scam you, whatever. Yes, absolutely. There are people with strategies that don't work, but there are tons of good resources out there with the technological age we are in right now, and even stuff like AI, but also, really, really big traders out there, people who are making money, people who have done great things, people with amazing resumes, people who are verified and all this stuff. They are making content. They're like tweeting stuff, making YouTube videos, streaming, doing whatever in Discord communities. There is enough stuff out there for free, and even once you start to get into the courses and the mentorship and the paid stuff, whatever, where you can find a strategy that resonates with you. And the great thing about futures prop firms is, again, the offer is convex. You are spending a little bit of money. Top Step, you can get an eval for like $50. Apex, you can get an eval for even cheaper. A lot of websites, you can get an eval for like $100. And with that account, you can potentially make thousands of dollars. You don't even necessarily need the best strategy in the world. With how the math works out, you can be, close to a break-even trader and still get payouts, still make money. Now, then if you are even a profitable trader or a trader with edge, you can really start to scale and compound fast. But you need to stick to one strategy. One strategy is all you need. You don't need 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. You need one, and you need to get really good at it. And you need to start to refine it and work on it and perfect it and master it and know it inside and out to know what days are good, what setups are good, what setups to avoid, what setups are bad, when you should, different take profit targets, different stop losses, all this different stuff. When you need to really, really go hard and take a bunch of trades that day, when you need to just take one loss and get off for the day. You need to hone in on one strategy. If every day, every week, every month, you're picking a new strategy, you're starting over on day one every single time, and that's not going to work. So you need to find something that resonates with you, whether it's your favorite content creator, whether it's a trader you really respect, whether it's just something you see somebody else do and it's worked for them, whatever. Pick a strategy that has edge, that seems like it resonates with you, that's going to fit your lifestyle, that's going to fit your personality. Some people like taking bigger trades with smaller size, some people like taking smaller trades with bigger size, some people want to trade New York Open, some people work all day and can't trade until Asia, some people want to trade London, whatever. There's a strategy out there for everybody. There's somebody trading profitably every single session, every time of the day, all different kinds of strategies. There's something you can find that's going to fit your lifestyle, your budget, your personality, but you have to pick a strategy that resonates with you and then really stick to it. Now, number 2 is I'm going to say you need to backtest. You can see right now here, we are on TradeZella. This is a backtesting software, and I'm going to do a little bit of backtesting in this video to show you guys a strategy that I have been using and the strategy that I use on futures prop firms and stuff like that, to take payouts, to make money. That this is what I have been doing a lot lately. And yeah, I think backtesting is actually very important. And this one might be a little bit more controversial because I know there is some people who are very against backtesting, and whatever. That's totally fine. I think that's valid. I get it. So many people will be like, oh, backtesting's not the real thing. It's not the real deal. You actually have to have money on the line. In backtesting, you get to set up the perfect environment. You get to wait a couple of seconds. Once you're actually in the moment, there's another pressure. Once your money's online, there's new pressure. And I agree with all that stuff. But I do think picking a strategy that you resonate with and then backtesting it a bunch until you feel really, really confident in it is going to help you once you actually go to trade your personal account or trade on your prop firms or whatever, because then you're actually going to believe in the strategy because you've seen it work in the perfect, ideal conditions, whatever. And if you had success with it in backtesting, were able to make, backtested profits or get backtested payouts or whatever, you know that it's possible. And now you're actually going to have the confidence to stick with it when you are live, when you're on your personal account, when you're on your fundings, when you're on your evals or whatever. So I'm not saying that a backtest is exactly what it is when you're trading live. Like when you actually get there, it's a New York Open, the market's moving, things are going fast and crazy, and you can't sit there for a couple of minutes and decide if you want to take the trade or not. You have to take the trade, set it up, whatever. It's obviously a different beast. Backtesting, there's no replacement for real screen time. You're gonna have to get out there, you're gonna have to trade a bunch, you're probably gonna have to lose a bunch, you're gonna have to go through trials and tribulations, all this stuff. But if you backtest, it's just a risk-free environment for you to get more comfortable, for you to gain more confidence, for you to feel more ready for when it's actually time to do it. Now, you actually have to get out there and do it a ton as well. But I don't know. I really think backtesting is really, really good. And guess what? Sometimes the market's not open. Sometimes you can't go out and get real screen time. Sometimes you can't go out and paper trade, whatever. Sometimes it's Saturday and you're itching to get some more work done, or whatever. And I know there's some people that'll be like, oh, well, during those times, it's better to just step away from the charts. It's better to just, relax, chill, get mentally prepared, get mentally ready, enjoy other things in life, whatever. And that's fair too. But when you're still in the learning phase, when you're still in the growing phase, when you're still in the scaling phase, that's a time when you really need to buckle down and put in a bunch of work. So yeah, if there is opportunities to get screen time and to be actually trading and working on your strategy in the real environments, yeah, that's great. Do that. But guess what? That's not always available. And that's why I think back testing, is really, really good as well. Now, number 3 is you're going to have to don't be afraid. So many people, once they finally start getting, they bought some evals, or they start passing some evals and they get some fundeds or whatever, they just start being so scared. They're so afraid of losing their money. They're so afraid of blowing an account or whatever. And that prevents you from, one, getting payouts in the first place or passing evals or whatever, but it also prevents you from scaling up to anything meaningful. If you trade your accounts really scared and really slow and try to be perfect, trading is not perfect. Everybody takes losing trades. Everybody blows accounts. Everybody blows evals. And at the end of the day, all you're trying to do is make more money than you spent, to have more money coming back to you than you put out into this thing. And if you're afraid, trading small, trading slow, if it takes you 3 weeks to pass an eval, which I've seen that, or guess what? Take 3 weeks to attempt to pass an eval and then still end up blowing the eval at the end of the day anyway, or, you're going to try to take the whole month to get a minimum payout on your fundage or whatever. No, you need to have a strategy that you believe in, a strategy that has edge, a strategy that has a win rate in which, with your risk reward ratio and everything that you're doing, will equate to payouts if the math plays out over time. And then you need to trade it really aggressively. You should be trying to pass your evals pretty quickly. You should be trying to take payouts in whatever time frame or window that your account says. There's some accounts that are a consistency rule. You can take a payout after 3 days. There's some accounts where, you have to get 5 days or whatever. You should be on track to take your payout in those 5 days, or you should be on track to take your payout in those 3 days, because when you need to scale, you need to be getting through these accounts. And I'm not saying, hey, do stupid stuff, be in a rush, be in a hurry, blow a bunch of accounts, blow a bunch of evals, whatever. No, I'm just saying don't be overly scared. I see way too common the mistake, again, of people on Twitter or Discord or new traders or whatever who are just trading too small, trading too scared, trading too slow, trying to be too perfect in an imperfect game. And a game where you don't have to be perfect. You need to be good. You need to be consistently very good, but you don't need to be perfect, and you definitely don't need to be scared, so do not be afraid. Now, the other thing I'm going to say, number 4, is don't copy trade. And this is a change, that we've all been through. You have different people saying, oh, you should be copy trading, max accounts on max sites, whatever. Some people want to buy 5 top tip accounts, copy trade them all at once. Some people want to buy 20 Apex accounts, copy trade all them at once. Some people want to take all the accounts they can from every single site, copy trade them all at once, whatever. And again, this is not a perfect game. You are going to blow evals. You are going to blow accounts. And if you are copy trading everything all at once, you are just giving yourself one opportunity. And guess what? When you do inevitably blow those or lose a trade or lose a couple of trades in a row or whatever, then you're going to be completely out of the game. Then you're going to have to start from square one. Not only is that extremely expensive and extremely volatile, but hey, maybe you have the bankroll to sustain that. Maybe money's not an issue to you or whatever, and that's totally fine. There's definitely people who are going to be in that position. So the cost is one part, but the cost isn't the thing for everybody. But also, you don't want your entire thing to last on one trade. I think you are much better off, and I think the numbers and the math show this, that you are much better off splitting your risk across a bunch of different accounts. Now, does that mean you're not going to hit that one trade and get the $50,000 payout from that one amazing trade you hit on 50 different accounts? No, but it does mean, oh, I won a trade here, lost the next one. Then I won 3 in a row, then I lost one. Then I won 2 in a row, then I lost one. And then guess what? You do that for a couple of weeks, and it's like, oh, I'm getting 2 payouts today, 3 payouts tomorrow, I'm getting 2 payouts on Thursday, I'm getting 1 payout on Friday, and all of a sudden I made, for $5,000 this week or whatever. And then you do that a couple of times, you're at 10, 15, 20,000 in a month. And you did that because you're constantly cycling through accounts. I take a bad trade, whatever, I get to start on the next account or the next eval. And again, if you are using a strategy that is mathematically sound, has edge, and you're able to stack that up across a bunch of different accounts, a bunch of different trades. Now, obviously, the caveat here is that you do need a strategy that can trade multiple times per day, because there's some people that have strategies that are like, oh, I take one trade per day, I take one trade per week, whatever, which again, I also would not say is optimal for prop firms necessarily. I think you want a strategy that can trade multiple times per day, maybe multiple times per session, whatever, and then spread that risk across multiple accounts. That's going to lower your volatility. That's going to lower your, just like variance of your thing. And it's going to let the edge of your strategy play out across multiple accounts. And like I said, if your strategy is good, you spread your risk across multiple accounts, you should be getting consistent payouts on like a weekly basis or, at least every other week or monthly basis or whatever. And that's how you're really, really going to scale. And then of course, the other biggest thing is you're going to need to reinvest. Now this means a bunch of different things. Not only does this mean reinvesting in yourself in stuff like, again, mentorships, content, courses, whatever, continuing to level up, continuing to learn from other profitable traders, big people in the space, people who are where you want to be, but it also means you are going to have to reinvest into your accounts. Again, say you do take a payout or a couple payouts or whatever, you need to reinvest that back into more accounts. You need to get on other sites. Again, say, oh, I'm killing it on TopStep right now. I just got a couple of payouts. Okay, well, max out TopStep and then start buying Lucid accounts or start buying bigger TopStep accounts or start buying Apex accounts or do all this different stuff. You need to keep reinvesting not only in yourself, not only in your education, not only in your learning of becoming a better and better version of yourself and a better trader and stuff every day. Maybe you need a better equipment, better computer would help you, I don't know. But you also need to reinvest into more and more and more accounts and more and bigger accounts and stuff like that. And that's going to help you snowball that snowball even further to making more and more money to then again, eventually, hopefully making $10,000 in a month, which is very, very achievable. Because again, there's people making way more than that on prop firms right now. And if they can do it, you definitely can too. 10,000 is just that first real solid number, where you're like, damn, I'm really doing this thing. And it's also a very, very achievable thing on prop firms as well. So here's a strategy that obviously I have been using to do stuff just like this. We're going to go to the high time frame. I didn't mean to click on the 1 day. We're going to look at the 1 hour. This is what I like to do. And I'm going to move this out of the way. And I like to see what the high time frame trend is. So obviously I'm looking at what the most recent break of structure, what the most recent, bias trend and everything has been on the 1 hour. And I can see right here, we had this little structure here forming and we did break it to the downside. So coming into this day, this is June 1st of 2026, just like a random day I picked out. I know I did really well in June, so I'm sure I'll be able to find some good setups here and take some winning trades and stuff. But we're coming into 9:30, the New York Open on this day with a bearish bias. I'm going to be looking to take some shorts and I do my executions on the 1 minute. So I look at the 1 hour to get my bias for the day. Then I go down to the 1 minute and I look for the same type of thing. I'm looking for breaks of structure. And if I get a break of structure in the direction on the 1 minute that I have on the 1 hour, if I set my high time frame bias, and then if the lower and smaller time frames align with that, and I get a nice break of structure, that's when I'm going to be entering my trades, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. So if we see anything like that here, that is definitely what we'll be going for, and this is the first trade that I'm going to take here. We break that structure. Sounds good to me. I'm going to just take, let's say 5 MNQ. I'm going to see how this trade maps out. We're going to put our stop loss at the top of the most recent structure, the most recent swing high. So they were risking about 707. I don't know. I like to risk between 1,000 and 2,000 on my trades. It doesn't really matter. It's going to depend on, what prop firm you're trading on, what kind of profit, what kind of size and stuff that you need. So if we move this will pretty much have us risking about 1,400. I think that's totally fine. And then we'll go for 1,500. On an eval, obviously you're going to try to win $1,500 on a trade. So let's get that and let's see if we could get a day one of an eval done here. And you can see that trade goes straight to the profit. Now, hey, that's just one example. Just because I hit one trade randomly right there, that doesn't mean that this is the best strategy in the world or anything like that. But this does mean that I know this strategy has edge because I've been back testing a ton. I've been putting in a ton of work. I've learned from other traders. I've been parts of other communities. And this is just a very, very simple strategy. Again, find the high time frame bias, wait for the lower time frames to align with your high time frame bias, and then take it in that direction with break of structure. And with a strategy like this, you're going to see tons of break of structures throughout the whole day. That's going to allow me to take a bunch of different trades. Lately, I've been taking anywhere between 5 and 10 trades per day. That's just in the New York session. So that means I can have 5 to 10 prop firm accounts, have a trade ready to go for every single one. And, say I hit 4, 5, 6, 7 of those trades in a day. that's evals that I'm passing. That's funded account balances that I'm stacking up. And then if I do that for a couple days in a row, by the end of the week or early next week or whatever, I'm going to have a couple payouts ready to go. Do that a couple times, take those payouts, reinvest into more accounts, and by the end of it, I'm going to be making around $10,000 per month, and that's just how it all works out. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.